After a long time, we're back here. What's up, y'all? Today we got fantasy football stardom situm for the NFL Fantasy Football app. Basically, this is a series I want to do over a week, weekly, in which I just tell y'all which players to start, which players to sit, and y'all can give me ideas too. So first of all, we're gonna do the stardom for the quarterbacks. So I want to start with Joe Burrow, and the reason I'm gonna start him, I think, is because he's facing the Jaguars, and the Jaguars suck. If I'm gonna be real. They already lost their best cornerback in C.J. Henderson via trade. So why not go ahead and just have Joe Burrow rip apart that secondary? Second of all, I'm going to go with Derek Carr as a stardom too. And the reason for that is this man has been balling on fire. Man's thrown for almost 1,300 yards in 3 games. He is playing turnover-free football, and I think John Gruden loves him right now. So next up, we got the quarterbacks sit him. And first of all, I have Kirk Cousins, and I know that's a bit of a surprise because Kirk Cousins has been doing really good. Yes, I know you can boo all along. Yes, but they're facing the Browns, and I think although the Browns defense has kind of underperformed in my opinion, that front four is going to pick apart the Vikings O-line. Dalvin Cook is going to have nowhere to go if he plays at all. And I also think it's going to get to Kirk Cousins, and Myles Garrett's going to have a big day again, just like he did against Justin Fields. And also, I have Teddy Bridgewater as my second sit-em. And the reason's obvious. I mean, I think the Broncos, as good as of a team they can be, they faced pretty bad competition. And the Ravens' D-line, the Ravens' secondary, the Ravens' everything on their defense has so much good depth. I think it's easy to beat up Teddy Bridgewater, and he's not going to have a good game. Next, we have running back stardom. And this one's a surprise for some of y'all. I'm going to go with Kareem Hunt instead of Nick Chubb. And the reason is, I think with the Vikings, they're going to make Baker Mayfield pass the ball a bit more, because their D-line is still pretty underrated. And I think Kareem Hunt's going to get a lot of touches. And we also got Joe Mixon as a stardom. And I think Joe Mixon should start because, well, again, he's facing the Jaguars. They're trash everywhere. And he's really good at receiving, and I think he's a really underrated running back too. So after that, we have the running back sit-em. My bad, not wide receivers. That's next. So I have Zeke as a sit-em, and I know that's surprising, but I think Tony Pollard is going to eat up some carries this week for the Cowboys. And after that, I also have Melvin Gordon. And I think Melvin Gordon's a sit-em because he is facing the Ravens. And just like I said about Teddy Bridgewater, that Ravens defense is extraordinarily fierce. And now we have wide receiver stardom. So for stardom, I have Mike Williams and Terry McLaurin. I'm going to start with Mike Williams first. Mike Williams has actually performed way more than I think a lot of football analysts have seen. He's always been a touchdown. He's been a really good jump ball player, but he's doing really good in the red zone this year for Justin Herbert, scoring 4 touchdowns already, and I think he's overtaking Keenan Allen as the number 1, and he's trying to fulfill that 8th overall pick that he had in the 2017 draft, and quite frankly, I think he's in for another big game against the Las Vegas secondary. And then we have scary Terry McLaurin up against the Atlanta Falcons. I think this is a very, very easy one to put because the Falcons secondary, though they did play well against the New York Giants, I think they're still a pretty bad secondary. And even though I'm a Falcons fan, I do not trust my secondary. I think Taylor Heineke can rip apart that defense and give Terry McLaurin the ball a lot. So for sit-em, we have 2. I think the first one isn't surprising. The second one, everyone's going to put some heat on me, but I'll explain why. So Robert Woods, I think he's a sit-em because Matt Stafford and Cooper Kupp have amazing chemistry, and you cannot beat their chemistry together. I think Cooper Kupp is balling out, and Robert Woods is being left out. He's getting some targets, some carries as well as a running back, but I think Cooper Kupp is really taking away his workload. And then this one's the big one that people won't understand, but I think it's obvious. DeAndre Hopkins, I think he's a sit-em because he's facing off against Jalen Ramsey, one of the league's best lockdown corners, and he has locked down DeAndre Hopkins like crazy. So now I have 1 tight end to start and 1 tight end to sit. Darren Waller, I think, is a stardom because he's facing a Chargers defense that has been okay, but has also given up a lot of passing yards, and this man knows how to feast on these types of defenses. And I don't know if Gronk is going to play or not. He's listed as questionable as of now on Wednesday, but it's a revenge match, and first of all, he's not 100%, so I wouldn't start him. And second of all, I feel like Bill Belichick, the Patriots have taken away the tight ends from many teams' equations this year, so I think Gronk is also someone to sit. And then after that, we have defenses. One to start are the Cincinnati Bengals because Trevor Lawrence has been absolutely garbage. And I hate to say it, but he has been garbage. It's embarrassing to watch. 7 interceptions in 3 games, and I think the Bengals can feast, especially with Trey Hendrickson off the edge. I think they're going to make Trevor Lawrence have a horrible day once again. And I know this is a bit weird. Well, actually, it's not that weird. The Cardinals' defense has been underrated, but I think they should be a sit-em because they're facing the Rams, and the Rams have picked apart every defense you could want to pick apart, including that vaunted Buccaneers defense. And finally, we have kickers who I think are pretty underrated. They give you a solid 10 points a game. And obviously for stardom, I'm going to put Justin Tucker in there because I think the Broncos defense is going to stifle the Ravens offense to field goals. And he had a beauty of a kick, 66 yards to win the game. So I think he can make any field goal, especially in Mile High. And a kicker to sit is Graham Gano. I just think the Giants offense has not been scoring as many points, and they're not going to have as many opportunities to do it, especially against the vaunted Saints defense. But anyways, y'all, that's all. I hope you liked my predictions. If you have any predictions that you disagree with or you think I should put for next week, list it down in the comments and leave a like and subscribe. Deuces.